We can't give in. We got to come out here every day and play hard. Obviously, we're not mathematically out of it, but it's not looking good. But we can go out there and can control playing hard every day and turning this thing around and ending it on a good note.
Troy Tulowitzki backing up his words last night with a home run in the 6th inning, his 21st of the season. It was part of a 3-for-4 night, in which he had a single, a double, and that home run. Tonight, the Rockies will try and keep their winning ways going as they continue their 4-game series against the Washington Nationals. Rockies looking for their 2nd straight win. Hi, everybody. Welcome inside Coors Field. I'm Tom Helmer alongside Tracy Ringlesby and Jeff Houston. Troy Tulowitzki speaking before yesterday's game about everybody needing to step up, get something done. There's time, but they've got to turn the corner, and then he produces.
And that's what Troy does. He's not afraid to speak his mind, and I think fans and players appreciate that. They understand that the guy's going to go out there and he's going to say some things that might ruffle some feathers, but he's also a guy that welcomes a challenge. And people can say, well, Troy's not having a great year or even up to his standards, but his bar is set pretty high because right now he has 75 RBIs. That's 4th in the National League, 51 extra base hits, 3rd in the National League, tied with Ryan Braun. The month of June hitting .330. So his numbers are pretty impressive for a guy, in his own words, saying, I'm not having a great year.
Yeah, the best way to lead is by example.
And I think that's part of what he's starting to learn. It's part of what you have to learn if you emerge as a leader. It's how to lead. And what happens a lot of times with a young guy who's trying to take that role is when the team's not going well, they feel like they then have to be the guy that does everything. They put pressure on themselves to be better. They got to do the old Greg Maddux line. You get in trouble, what do? You try easier. And that's what his leadership isn't, because he necessarily hits a home run. It's how he handles himself at bad times.
All right, we're going to take a break here at Coors Field. When we come back, we'll talk about the guy that's going to be on the hill for the Rockies tonight, Juan Nicasio. enjoys pitching at Coors Field more than that man right there, Juan Nicasio. In 6 games here at the corner of 20th and Blake, he is 4-0 this season. He has been phenomenal. That's a trend he hopes to continue tonight. Hello, everybody. Welcome back inside Coors Field. Right now, it's time to get you upstairs with the guys who will be calling tonight's action, Drew Goodman and George Frazier. Guys?
All right, Tom, thanks very much. You're right. Juan Nicasio has the home park figured out. That's usually the element with young pitchers that Rockies brass would be concerned about because of the altitude and the number of hits typically given up here.
Typically it does. I mean, this is the part of the young kids' development. You go, uh-oh, coming to Coors Field, how he's going to handle it, what's he going to do here? Well, folks, let me tell you what. The opposition's hit just 212 against him. Look at the earned run average, 1.58, and it's not against a bunch of cream puffs. He's beaten Atlanta, he's beaten St. Louis here, he's beaten Milwaukee here. Very good teams, all contending teams with 27 strikeouts. Well, why is all this so good for him? He doesn't walk people. He pounds the strike zone with his fastball and makes you beat him with the fastball. The slider has actually gotten a lot better under the tutelage of Bob Apodaca as he's worked with him in between starts. So it's not become a great slider, but it's not bad like it was.
He's got great stuff, George, especially with that fastball, and he believes he belongs. That's important, isn't it?
It's very important that he believes he belongs here. He thinks he's as good as anybody when he walks out to the mound. He's a big, strong kid. And again, this is what you're looking from a young player. You want a young player to grab a hold of that opportunity and when given to him, run with it. And let's see what you can do with it. He's shown a lot of people he can do a lot of things.
Absolutely. He certainly has run with it. He'll be on the hill tonight for the Rockies as Colorado gets set to build on last night against the Washington Nationals. Come on back to Coors Field with us. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By the Ford Fusion, with quality, power, and economy, we speak value. Ford Fusion, drive one. By Quest. Quest is becoming CenturyLink. Your link begins here. Find out more at CenturyLink.com/link. And by Southwest Airlines, new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats and no blackout days. Another pretty night in Lodo. Rockies have gathered at Coors Field to take on the Washington Nationals. Juan Nicasio makes his way out to the mound. And the Rockies have dominated the Nationals of late. They've won 17 of their last 21 encounters. There's former St. Louis Cardinal left-hander Rick Ankiel. He'll be leading things off again tonight. He had a couple of knocks yesterday. Southwest batting order for the veteran manager Davey Johnson. Danny Espinosa again will bat second. Ryan Zimmerman has a 13-game hitting streak. Michael Morse has had a marvelous year, by far the best of his career. Jason Worth, Lance Nix, Ian Desmond, Wilson Ramos again doing the catching, and a very gifted young right-hander, George Zimmerman.
Yeah, it is gifted. You see the overall numbers, making his 13th start, throwing 70 and 2/3 innings, only 16 walks on the season for him. Interesting note, all-time ERA lowest at Coors Field. For Juan Nicasio, 5+ starts, he's at 1.58. The next closest, Freeman in 94 at 290. Chacin, Ubaldo, and Stark in 02.
And the first pitch of the ball game is in there, strike one on Rick Ankiel. .158 home ERA. That really gets your attention. Overall, right-handed hitters, George told you in the open that hitters are batting just .212 against him at home. Righties, home or away, are hitting just .195. The lefties have fared much better. They're hitting at a .306 clip. But George, when that slider becomes a little more prominent in his repertoire and the changeup improves, that number will go down.
Well, I think the key is the changeup. He's got to be able to throw his changeup to left-handers and throw it for strikes.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Ankiel. Defensively, the Rockies have run this lineup out there a fair amount lately. E.Y. Dexter and Seth Smith in the outfield. Ian Stewart, Troy Tulowitzki, Chris Nelson, and Todd Helton in the infield. Chris Iannetta doing the catching. Nelson's been swinging the bat. He's getting some opportunities to play second. Had a start at third recently also. 97 miles an hour on that heater. .86 degrees our game time temperature. And this ball lined to right, and it kicks away from Smith, and Ankiel stumbles around first. Rockies catch a break. Ankiel was going to head to second, and he would have gotten there. And Rick Ankiel stumbled on the bag. That was an off-speed pitch, George, but it was about a letter high.
Yeah, it was. Bad location to this. See, Iannetta reached back. That means he missed that location a good 18 inches to where Iannetta wanted that ball down and away from him. Left it out over the middle of the plate. Became a very hittable pitch, hit very hard right at Seth Smith, and then the guy in the dirt got him. Oh, man, he tripped him again. It's fun when they're running towards that bag and the little guy sticks his hand up. Wham.
Well, that's called, home field advantage.
Absolutely,
you want that guy in the dirt there. He works for you, right?
That's right.
Boy, Danny Espinosa, though he hit the ball hard a couple times last night, he has been scuffling. This guy was about a month ago. Everybody's mentioning him as a strong candidate to be Rookie of the Year.
And may still have a chance at that, Drew, if he'll finish strong these last month and a half.
He's hitting .094 since July the 18th. 6 for 64. I love how he plays, though. He's a strong guy. 17 home runs. Plays the game hard. Plays like all those Long Beach State guys. There's the home run totals among rookies. Freddie Freeman. And then his teammate Ramos. Now, Washington may look to run in that 9 have attempted to steal with Nicasio on the mound, George, and 8 have been successful.
Well, and that's what they look at. They look at the scouting report. What have they done stealing? What have the left-handers done against him? What's your catcher's done in situations when he's on the mound? All those things factor in a manager making that decision. But you can't let the attention of a base runner pull you off of the hitter either. That's another part of that maturity thing for young pitchers. They get so concerned with first. That's when they leave a pitch in a bad location and get hurt.
One and two. First time Nicasio's ever matched up with the Nationals. See Nicasio and Escalona in the clubhouse. This is not hit hard enough for two. In fact, Rockies aren't going to get anything out of it. I think Tulowitzki, George, was doing some decision making as that ball was bouncing toward him, seeing if he had any play on Ankiel, and then ultimately he didn't have any play, period.
I'll be honest, I think he was watching the guy running up the first base line, because what happened is the ball got right next to the glove. You know, Ankiel's here, so he's out in front of the bag. It's going to be difficult to even get close to flipping it back to him. I just think he made a glance up to look and see where the runner was, and then as he came up, the ball, did it look like that ball hit that seam? Did it hit the seam? Right where the dirt and grass.
It stayed down.
Yeah, it stayed down and kind of skidded. You know, instead of anticipating the ball coming up, it stayed down off of the glove. An error on Tulowitzki.
So 2 on and nobody out. I was starting to say, George, you see Nicasio and Escalona in the dugout or in the clubhouse. Looks like the Rockies recruited a couple of defensive ends.
Yeah, no kidding. Two big guys. I mean, Escalona is one of those guys that's 6'5", about 230 pounds, well built. Casio's another one of those guys at 6'5" and about 240 pounds.
Not the guy you want to see up with traffic right now. Ryan Zimmerman, 13-game hitting streak. And Nicasio tries to bust him in again.
Trying to prevent. When you see a guy's arms hang out the way he does, the way he in his starting position, away from his body, and you watch and see his setup, and you're going to see that right here in the middle of his hands, see how they're extended away from the body. It tell you know, as a pitcher, you think I can get inside on him. It's the first thing that comes to your mind. But then as he starts that delivery, boy, those hands come set pretty quick back.
.3-0 on Zimmerman. The way he's been hitting, he's probably got the green light right here. .446 average during that 13-game hitting streak. Batting .363 overall in the second half. Three and one. And Keel at second. He singled. Espinosa reached on an error by Tulowitzki. And
yeah, it's a strike. He swung. Yeah, he swung.
I wanted to see if they were going to give him a hit by pitch. And they checked with Bill Miller. Tom Hallion, the crew chief's the home plate umpire. And he said that he swung. Now Ryan Zimmerman,
he's thinking he stopped.
Saying, you kidding me?
Well, he thinks he stopped his swing. Davey Johnson had a little argument last night about a balk. Now he's going to ask about it. So he asked down at first base, and he rang him up. See, his swing's coming forward. He's saying 3-1 count. I'm unloading on this thing. Fastball. Ooh, I don't know. What do you think, Drew?
It's so close, George. I think typically on that you get a hit by pitch.
If he stops his swing, it looks like he did anyway. Did it hit the knob or hit his hand?
That's a good question also.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
He wraps that finger like a lot of guys do over the knob. Got both.
Sure did.
Didn't it?
And it got Chris's right shoulder.
Nobody's paying any attention to him, though. 3-2 the count with 2 on and nobody out. Just underway at Coors Field. See if Nicasio can make a pitch here. Runner's going, and it is in the air to deep center field. Fowler is going to have to play it off the wall. 2 runs will score. And Zimmerman is going to end up at third base with a 2-run triple. Doesn't even look like he swung at that ball, George.
That's a strong man, Drew. Man, that's a strong man. I'm looking at flags. It doesn't see the wind would ate that at all. But the Rockies outfielders today at about 1:30 were on the field taking extra work on cutoffs and relays, playing the ball in different positions. This ball was hit extremely hard by Zimmerman. That is a very strong person swinging the bat. I originally thought when I saw the runners go, you might have a chance at doubling one of the two up because they were so far advanced when the ball got to the outfield. But this ball carried all the way right to the front of their bullpen, and then Dexter slipped, trying to reverse his momentum to go back and get the baseball.
I think just looking at Dexter's route to the baseball, I think that he didn't realize it was hit as well as it was. That thing took off. I think his first few steps, he thought, you know what, I may have a play on this, and then he just turned and ran to the wall. He realized it was scalded. 1 ball, 1 strike on Michael Morse. Now a 14-game hitting streak for Zimmerman. That's 4 straight games the Rockies have allowed at least a run in the first.
Oh, you already got 2 in. It's unfortunate to err by Tulowitzki, but you would have had 1 anyway on that base hit by Zimmerman. So now this is an important. These next 2 guys are huge to try to get a strikeout if you so can, and obviously prevent the ball from getting hit in the air to the outfield. And the Rockies infield is halfway right now. A large part of that is because he's on the other side of the hill, and that's Jordan Zimmerman, who has 15 quality starts this year. It's tied for 11th. Hamels leads it with 19, but he's pitched a whole lot better than his record.
Yeah, wipe out his record. He's tough to hit most of the time. Two on Morse. Wow. I don't know if I've seen that, George. The bat breaks and it comes straight back and hits the wall directly behind the hitter.
And one more look at this fastball in on the hands, and you see as he came around that bat, sailed right off of that screen. We're standing there, and he was like, whoa. I think it spun off on the backside towards him.
2-2 count on Morse. 2 runs in already, nobody out, and Zimmerman is at third base. Ground ball to short. Good job by Tulowitzki to hold Zimmerman.
But the league is going to respect the arm of Tulowitzki. They're not going to test it unless it's left or right, where he's got a difficult way to get balanced again.
Well, here's how you get text message alerts when the Rockies score 7 or more runs. Text the keyword taco to 720-720. And you know the drill. When the Rockies do score 7 or more, go to Taco Bell the next day in the state of Colorado between 4 and 6 for your Rockies taco special. Worth fouls it off. Worth last night went 0 for 3, which is not unusual for him this year. It is unusual for him when he plays at Coors Field. He's had a rough season. Witnessed the .224 average in his first year in D.C. But he's torn the cover off it at Coors Field. Slider, which was improved in San Diego. Talking to Bob Apodaca about that. He threw more quality sliders against the Padres in working 7 innings, allowing just 2 runs, 1 earned, than he had in any of his previous, to that point, 11 starts. This has popped up in the infield. Tulowitzki waiting. And now with 2 outs, you have a chance to strand Zimmerman. Ionetta out visiting with Lance Nix coming up. Nix last night was 0 for 4. Worth, after that pop out's now 1 for 14 against Rockies pitching this year.
Right guy up at the plate right now with 2 outs, runner scoring position, 3 for 27. Talking about Lance Nix. The thing that's hard sometimes for young pitchers in this situation, they battle to get those 2 outs, and then they have a mental relaxation on the mound, and they come back and don't make that pitch. And what has separated Nicasio from a lot of people, he makes that pitch. He shuts down innings.
One and one.
You had 28 pitches to get through this inning. That's not what you want to see. As a matter of fact, every time we show that, it makes me think of this. The Rockies minor league system, 30 or more pitches, and then as you get a little farther in the season, 34 or more pitches in 1 inning, you're done for the night. Obviously here, that doesn't happen. It's all about arm protection at the minor league level.
Got a little cut on it, 2-2. Beat Ankiel up. That's where they've gone the first 4 pitches. And they strike him out. Nice job by Nicasio. He gives up the 2-run triple to Zimmerman. That came with nobody out, but he did not allow Zimmerman to cross. To nothing, and Eric Young will lead things off against Jordan Zimmerman. Here's the Southwest Airlines batting order. Dexter Fowler will follow. Todd Helton will bat third naturally. Troy Tulowitzki, Seth Smith, Chris Nelson, Ian Stewart, Chris Ionetta, and then the pitcher Nicasio.
Well, here's the right-hander Zimmerman. He's going to take on this Rockies lineup tonight, and he's been very, very good this year, particularly out on the road. 3 and 4, 279 earned run average, just 3 home runs given up. By the way, that 279 road ERA, that is 8th best in the National League right now.
Yeah, you may not know this name. You will. Jordan Zimmerman is a top of the rotation talent. 24-year-old.
How about this?
Wisconsin native out of Wisconsin, Stevens Point.
Division III school. 2nd round draft pick in 07, but a Division III school where they go in. That's good scouting right there, boys. Started out in April 1-4, not so good ERA, mid-4s, and then in May started to heat it up, 3.23, 1-2, and in June had his best month, 3-1, with an 0.85 earned run average. Up to July, he went back to 1-2 and a mid-4s ERA again.
Got a good curveball. Rockies really scuffled with him in D.C. On the ground, foul.
Real quick note, I want to make this because I'm really proud of this young man. Tyler Matzik, #1 pick, given a lot of money, close to $4 million. 6 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, and 8 strikeouts. And he leads in the ballgame 2-0. He's faced 1 over the minimum. Now that's after a start last week where he went 5 innings and walked 8. It's been well publicized. He left the organization and went to get help and with a guy named Lon Fulmer, a pitching coach of his in Southern California. And he's come back. I'm really happy to see the results in Nashville for him. He's a great kid and really wants to do well.
Well, he'd been walking more than a hitter an inning.
It had been pretty. And I saw 2 of his starts in Modesto this year.
And so to see George, as you said, 6 innings, just 1 hit. That's a fair ball. 6 innings, just 1 walk, I should say. Eric Young will scoot into second with a double. Well, he was on base 3 times last night. He's on base to begin the bottom of the 1st inning for Colorado.
Sliced right down the third base line on a heater, down and away, running away from him on the 6th pitch of the at-bat. A little hesitation, and it's more of just a tennis-type slap shot right by Zimmerman.
Safe at second. Safe and secure, New York Life.
By the way, you're wondering, Zimmerman, that 2nd-round draft pick by the Nationals. It was interesting how that all came to where they could have that opportunity. Well, Alfonso Soriano was a free agent, and instead of trading him, they kept him. He went on to be signed with the Chicago Cubs. Guillen was another guy, Jose Guillen. They went on to trade, so they had some compensation back to them in the draft. That year, they took a guy, left-handed pitcher, Josh Smoker. He's 31st pick overall. Baseball America, #6 prospect, #7 Gatorade Player of the Year at Georgia. Michael Burgess, a big, powerful outfielder out of Tampa, left-handed hitter in the draft, and Jordan Zimmerman.
2-1 on Fowler. Dex fouls it off out of play. Zimmerman has not typically gotten a lot of run support, 3rd lowest in the National League, a little over 3 per game. And Zimmerman will get the strikeout on that slider down and in. So Fowler doesn't move Young, 1 out, and that'll bring up Helton. Lance Nix, Rick Ankiel, Jason Worth in the outfield, Ryan Zimmerman, Ian Desmond, Danny Espinosa, and Michael Morse left to right in the infield with Wilson Ramos behind the plate. Helton's got 16 ribbies in his last 18 ball games, and he'll step up. 2 for 5 lifetime against Zimmerman. Talking to him before the ball game about Zimmerman. He's been impressed with him a handful of times he's seen him. There's the poor run support we were mentioning. And Young is hung up between 2nd and 3rd. And Eli doing a good job staying in the rundown long enough to allow Helton to replace him at least. So 2 gone, and Tulowitzki will come up. Last night, Troy Tulowitzki had 3 hits, one of them real fun kind of hit to go over the wall. 21st of the year for Troy last night. And when he hits a home run, the club is now 16-5. One, 5, 6, 1. Just figured it out on that put out. 1, 5, 6, 1. Inside, ball 1 on Tulowitzki. Good view from the Mountain Ranch Club. Here's the 2-0, and that misses. 3-0 with Smith on deck.
Sure, this is bad. I keep turning around and looking back, waiting on like the strawberry shortcake to come or the pie and the
not going to happen.
Hot dogs, and we're not up there anymore.
No.
What a nice sweet setup they have here at Coors Field, though. Don't forget about that 303-312-2424.
Here's the automatic 3-1. Real good numbers, 2 outs and runners in scoring position. 375 average for Tulowitzki. And that's too tight. So 2 are on now for Smith. Now clearly he didn't want to mess with Tulowitzki.
Hey, you want to bike to the game? Tracy and I and Tom did it the other day. Well, no. Tom biked me and Tracy to the game. That's the way it worked. On August 7th, park for free in a secured section at 21st and Blake. If you bike your way in, come on in. You'll have chances to win some prizes.
Ball 1 on Smith. Seth's seen Zimmerman just twice, 0 for 2.
Oh, she's wanting to have some runs come in for her Rockies. Come on, Seth, get a hit.
In 2-1.
Not typical. A lot of balls thrown by Zimmerman early in this game. He's got 21 pitches, 10 balls. That's a little unusual.
Two and 2. Good fastball. Zimmerman's a guy that had Tommy John surgery a couple years back.
Well, you wonder coming out of a Division III school if he had that kind of arm to be a second-round draft pick. You wonder if he got abused a little bit, maybe starting on Tuesday, coming back Fridays, or starting Friday night, which a lot of programs will do it. Have him go 7-8 innings and close on Sunday.
This is playable in shallow left field. Lance Nix is there, so the Rockies will leave 2 aboard in the first inning. They trail 2-0.
Park, whether you're in the Mountain Ranch Club or anywhere here at Coors Field right now, the Nationals a 2-0 lead over the Rockies as we make our way to the top of the second inning. And earlier in this series, you guys were talking about an update on pitcher Steven Strasburg of the Nationals. Well, a bit of an update for you. The Nationals have made it official. He will make his first rehab start of the season on Sunday in Class A Hagerstown. He threw a side session yesterday and a simulated game on Tuesday earlier this week in Florida. Now, he is recovering, guys, as you know, from Tommy John surgery he just had in September. He's scheduled to pitch 1 or 2 innings in the first of 4 rehab starts. Go ahead, guys.
Oh, man. Oh, boy. You just hate to see these things. That's a paramedic who's come out as well. Ian Desmond at first base a moment ago was crouched on his knees, and now he's jogging back to the dugout. This is unsettling to everybody involved. George, I know you never got hit in the head because we've talked about it before, but I was having a conversation with Aaron Cook yesterday, and I said, when you throw a pitch that's designed to go low and away, two-seamer typically for Cook, I said, do you think about the possibility of it coming back at you? And he said, absolutely. I mean, it's in your thought process somewhere.
It sure is. Oh, I got hit many times in the legs and you know, in the back and different areas. You better believe it's right smack in the middle of you. You're 60 feet away from and you're throwing a baseball at 95 miles an hour, and you couple that with their bat speed and the ball back and the reaction time.
Luis Chassin, Johnny Herrera, Bo Porter, Davey Johnson. And if it's, as you said, coming in at 95 and it's squared up as Desmond squared that up, it's coming back at you at obviously well over 100 miles an hour. It's impossible, George, you can speak to this, to react quick enough. I don't care who you are.
You can't react. I mean, you hope to get a glove up. You hope what may happen. You know, even when you turn away from it, you lose everything. And Drew, probably the hardest thing to deal with in my era was the AstroTurf. Well, balls hit right back at you that quick. But this was just a straight line drive.
As you can see, Nicasio is speaking, and he's moving his extremities. This affects everybody. There's just no way around it. Doesn't happen frequently in baseball, but it happens. Looks like they're going to bring an ambulance down onto the field. It's that or bring it down to that tunnel, and they'll put Juan on the cart and take him in that direction. Juan Nicasio hit in the head on a line drive by Ian Desmond. There's Desmond.
Escalano was warming up down in the bullpen, so he'll finish that out here.
Well, if you're squeamish at all, I would advise you not to look, but we're going to show the replay now. You know, the leather was coming up, but Georgie, it doesn't look like he was able to get the leather up where even got. I mean, even if it gets a piece of it, it's gonna absorb some of the blow. And not only that, after he got hit, you could see when he went down head first.
I think he was out, unfortunately. Just a bad deal. Boy, that's just tough.
We'll come back to Coors Field. So Ian Desmond, after the line drive, hit Nicasio in the head, is at first base. We're ready to resume play. Edgmer Escalona, who did a very good job 3 days ago in long relief, will be out in long relief tonight. And the first pitch he throws is a towering fly ball to right off the bat of Wilson Ramos. That'll bring up Jordan Zimmerman.
Most of the time, Escalona worked at the minor league level. He worked 1 2/3, 2 innings at most. The other day, he went 3 innings, really controlled his pitch count well. Now, I looked at the velocity of the first offering. He's normally 92, 95. He was 90 with the first fastball.
And the bunt's laid down, foul. Nationals up 2-0. They changed the official scoring in the first inning. Tulowitzki was given an error on that ball that slowly hit. They changed it to an infield hit because I believe they weren't sure if, even if Tulowitzki comes up with it cleanly, if he'd be able to get an out at first. So take the error away. It's now 4 hits. For Washington. Here's the play again in the first inning.
So I think it's a tough play. I mean, coming in on it, particularly if it hit that seam, would he have a chance at anybody? Don't think so.
It did hit the seam too, it looks like. That hit him out of the box. He's out. Zimmerman's out. And the runner's got to return to first base. Catcher gets credit for a put out in that situation.
Fair territory, caught him right on the heel, rolled into foul territory.
Top of the order, Rick Ankiel. Juan Nicasio taken to a local hospital. And as soon as we get an update, we will report it to you. Well hit left center field. Eric Young is going to have to go all the way to the corner. That bounced over the wall. That's a break for Colorado. A ground rule double by Ankiel, and therefore Desmond, who was going to walk home, has to remain at third base, and it gives Escalona a chance to get out of it still.
I mentioned the number of innings Escalona had pitched. 34 games, 39 and 2/3. So not a lot of times he went the distance or went multiple innings. Here, fastball, trying to ray it to that outside corner and let it run to the outside corner. Ankiel did a nice job on this pitch. Everything stayed back. He was very short and quick to the baseball. That's why people keep bringing him back. He has the potential to be dangerous with the bat. And Drew, you're 100% right. That hop really helped.
Danny Espinosa.
2 outs. You got a guy struggling at the plate now in Espinosa. Maybe you get out of this thing with not much damage.
Slider for a strike. 1-1. Good block by Iannetta.
Well, one thing a catcher obviously turns up his intensity with a runner at third base or runner on base, but particularly at third, to not allow that ball out. Get by you regardless of where the pitch is thrown. This is bad slider right out to the left side of home plate area.
3-1. This is the guy that you want if you're Escalona. You don't want to deal with Ryan Zimmerman. As George mentioned, Espinosa's been struggling. I know he's a left-handed bat, but he has just 7 hits in his last 65 at bats. Second and third, top of inning number 2 at Coors Field. Off the plate, ball 4. Now they're loaded up for Ryan Zimmerman.
Gardner, the other guy they got in a trade for of all those men, is he pitched great down at Tulsa tonight. 4 1/3, 4 hits. He did give up 2 runs in the first, but no walks, 5 strikeouts right now. And their ball game's tied 2-2 as they go to the top of the 5th.
Reputation, George, for a terrific sinker. He was one of the top half-dozen prospects also. That's a strike. Talking about Cleveland.
I'll tell you about a bad number. The Nationals, the bases loaded this year with 2 outs, 108 average. Zimmerman 0 for 2. He's only had 2 chances. Of course, been hurt a lot this year too. Davey Johnson's hoping that changes with this swing, and the Rockies hoping otherwise.
Zimmerman missed 58 games with an abdominal tear. Good heater there at 93. It's 1-2.
Sink, good location, outer half of the plate.
Ground ball up the middle. Chris Nelson's there, and did he get him? Yeah, barely. Nelson just got the ball to Tulowitzki in time. 2-0 Washington. Escalona got out of that bases loaded situation a moment ago. Chris Nelson will lead things off for the Rockies. He's done a nice job, George, since returning to the big leagues. Got some hits, 3 RBIs, 381 average. That will work.
He has swung the bat very, very well. Hit the ball hard. Last night he hit it really hard.
He's really becoming a professional, and what I mean by that is that he's now had 3 different stints over the last calendar year in the big leagues. He's done a very nice job at this level, and when he has been sent back out, there's no pouting. He goes back down to Colorado Springs and tears it up.
Well, he gets a taste of what it's like to dress in this uniform down there versus the other uniform, and he understands he really likes it up here. He also understands that if you raise a bunch of stink going down, what's it going to accomplish? Nothing. I mean, if you go in with a good attitude, say, okay, I understand business, I understand what you got to do. I'm going to be back, though. You go down with that attitude and play that way. Soft fly ball ain't killed, have it. You know what I mean? That's the attitude you got to take with it. What I like about him, smile on his face, energy every day. And there's a difference between having energy and hustling and then playing hard. Playing hard's a whole other deal than those other things. Playing hard's diving for a ball on when you don't necessarily have to do it in a game. Playing hard's taking a guy out at second base in a double play. That's playing hard. Running hard up the line for at bats. That's playing hard.
Ian Stewart takes a pitch away. Ball 1. Stewart has seen Zimmerman 4 times. 2 for 4. Saw him a couple of years ago when Zimmerman made his only start at Coors Field. Here's the 1-1 to Stewart, and that's fouled off in on the knuckles. 1 and 2.
Well, nobody feels worse than Ian Stewart. Since July 5th, the guy's hit .203 with 3 RBIs and no home runs. I mean, he wants to come back and do what he was doing at Colorado Springs. For whatever reason, it just not has had happened so far.
And the 2-2 on the ground up the middle. Espinosa with a great
and then you
play.
get one of those.
Yeah, that doesn't help the average.
The defense is better. The pitching's a little better up here. I think I have an answer. Do you think the guy at Tacoma probably makes this one? What do you think? Probably not. The guy at Tacoma, second baseman, maybe he does. I don't think they do. Right now, Ian Stewart can't buy a hit. Jump toss and on the money.
Yeah, that jump toss comes from Espinosa's time at shortstop at Long Beach State. Prior to that, he was moved to second base as a pro. It's not a play that you see a second baseman have to make typically, jumping like that. Good play. 0-2 on Chris Iannetta. Rockies with the win yesterday, 6-3, improved to 27 and 29 at home. Still nowhere near where you thought they would be. In fact, the 29 losses, Doug, represents the number of losses they had all of last year. Just looking at you for confirmation, they were 52 and 29 last year at home, so 29 losses all of 2010 at Coors Field.
Well, you always look at that number, 50 wins at home. 50 and 31, you're in pretty good shape.
Good slider. That's all for Iannetta. Second strikeout for Jordan Zimmerman, and the Nationals have a 2-0 lead as we go to the 3rd. $4.70 at Express Toll, celebrating 20 years of excellence. Here's what's on the menu. The Nationals on the menu for 2 more days. It'll be a 4-game set, and then the Rockies are off to Cincinnati to see the up and down Cincinnati Reds, who still hope to make a move in that NL Central. And then the road trip will conclude in St. Louis, Missouri, against another former team of George Frazier's, the Cardinals, team he followed growing up.
Oh, I love that team. Bob Gibson, Stan Musial, Lou Brock, Kurt Flood, even Steve Carlton for a little bit. Until he made everybody mad and they sent him to Philly.
Red Shane Dienst.
Yeah, what a great manager. What a great guy. He's still around.
Michael Morris will lead it off, then Jason Worth and Lance Nix. And Escalona's first pitch is fouled off the mask of Iannetta, 0-1. Again, Escalona in relief of Juan Nicasio, who went 1+. The leadoff hitter last inning, Ian Desmond, hit a line drive. Scary deal. Off of Nicasio's head. He could not get the glove up in time, and he was taken off on a stretcher. The head and neck immobilized. It's Ian Desmond. Once again, the line drive. One and 2 on Morse. Do you ever, George, remember coming into a game after something like that occurred?
Yeah, I come in, if the guys have gotten hurt and come into the ball game, it's very difficult.
But actually got hit like that, where maybe it's on your mind even more as the next guy.
Well, it's a downer. I mean, it's Debbie Downer, dude. Like your teammate just went out of here on a stretcher. And particularly, it probably affects more guys like Escalona, Chacin. These are, Latin American, very tight-knit bunch of guys on a baseball team. And have that happen, it'll affect you all the way through. And your thoughts, even though you're pitching here, your thoughts are wondering when are we going to get word from the hospital on him to see how he's doing.
One out as Morse pops up, and Jason Worth, who popped up his first time, will step to the plate. Talk about having an effect on everybody involved. You can just see the reaction of Jim Tracy. His mind is clearly on the game, but elsewhere also. Worried about Juan Nicasio. He cares deeply for the guys that are in his clubhouse. And you heard Ubaldo Jimenez when he was interviewed the day he departed. He said that Jim Tracy's like a father figure to him. Tells you a whole lot about that man. And for those wondering, Ubaldo making his first start in an Indians uniform. They're in the 5th inning tonight. They got him a lot of runs early. 3 in the first, 3 in the second, a run in the third. And Jimenez gave up a run in the first, a run in the second, and a run in the third in his first start in an Indians uniform. And pitch counts pretty elevated. So far through 4 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, couple walks, 5 strikeouts. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Jason Worth. And a ground ball to third. Stewart will come get it.
Well, what Jim Tracy's hoping for, quick outs, low pitch count, give me as many innings as you can, because it can just blow up an entire bullpen, and then you're forced into doing other things for tomorrow's ball game. Trace and Bob Apodaca just hoping they could get maybe 3 or 4 innings out of Escalona, and probably Matt Belisle would have to come on and eat up some of those innings.
Well, Matt pitched 3 terrific innings a couple nights ago.
Night after he pitched. He's only had 1 day off since that. It was yesterday.
May turn into one of those situations, George, where you have to go get an arm for the weekend. No off days. Because of the unfortunate circumstances, your bullpen has to eat up 8 innings. Good inning for Escalona. Gets a couple of pop outs and a ground ball. 2-0, middle of 3, Washington. Nationals leading 2-0. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, Lana Rizzo. Toyota Talk comes your way in the 6th inning. Text Toyota followed by a space, and then your comments, questions to 720-720. Edgemer, Escalona will hit. Takes ball 1 from Jordan Zimmerman.
I don't think, is this his first big league? It sure is. Swinging it for the very first time.
Don't be premature, George. He hasn't taken a swing yet. 1-1.
No, I'm just saying it's his first time.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean swing? There
well, see, he let
now
one
I can
fly.
say it.
You want to analyze that?
Ugly. How'd I do?
Be kinder than that.
I did. It was an ugly swing. Like all pitchers have ugly swings. No, not all, but a lot of them. When you stand 2 feet from the plate and you bail, it's not good.
There's the guy in the Nationals who has a nice swing.
Well, he's really, Levon's good.
Yeah, Levon
yeah, he can
hit.
play first base when he retires.
What league?
Whichever one he wants.
Escalona's gone. 3 strikeouts for Jordan Zimmerman. Let's take a look at our AT&T trivia question. Can you name the last team to relocate in each of the 4 major sports? This is a good one because we just had a relo in hockey, George. You know that.
We did?
Yes, I'll tell you about it later. You missed that, didn't you?
Did they move to Loveby, Oklahoma?
They did not.
Okay.
Eric Young. You guys have a minor league hockey team in Tulsa.
Yeah, Tulsa, and then they had in Oklahoma City. It's really big. They actually draw very well there. They also have the indoor AF1, whatever it is, the number one arena football is there also.
You have roller derby?
No. Well, I don't know. I'll check. We might. They got to go around teepees and stuff. It's hard.
Oh, boy. 2-0 on EY. 3-0. Young has the only hit for the Rockies tonight. We're at the bottom of the first off with a double right down the left field line. I noticed Ryan Zimmerman's moved about a step closer to that line.
If you get a pitch away, play away, and that's exactly what happened. Just sliced it right down that third base line, just hugging the bases.
You saw where Zimmerman was set up in the first inning. Now, in the second inning, that angle doesn't really do it justice. He's He's probably a step and a half closer to the line. There's where he was in the first.
All right, now where is he? I'm going to leave that there. Oh.
See? Learn from the swings, right? Read the swings. Ball 4. So Junior's aboard with 1 out.
By the way, Drew, just so you know, when you come to town, I want you to understand something.
When I come to Tulsa?
Yep, they've got roller girls, and they do have it. It's the Green Country Roller Girls. They do have it there. That's right. They play in Broken Arrow at the Broken Arrow Roller Sports Center.
So you should have known that.
I did.
You're in Broken Arrow all the time.
No, not really.
A lot of good pitchers up in Broken Arrow.
You got to call out there and get the permission to go into that town.
Fowler struck out on a slider down and in his first time. Takes strike 1. Well, the Rockies, as we all know, started out the year in fabulous form. 11-2, 17-8 through the month of April. They're 8 games below 500 right now, and that's after winning last night. So they fell 9 games below and after being swept by Philadelphia. Fouled off. It's the 4th time in Rockies history that they've been 9 over 100 in a season, and also at least 9 under in the same season. And listen to this. It happened in '97. It happened this year. The other 2 years it happened, 2007 and 2009. The years the Rockies won 90 and 92 games, the 2 most wins in their franchise history, as Fowler's dismissed. I think that's fascinating.
It is very fascinating, and remember in '09, of course, Clinton was dismissed. Jim took over. They went on a great win streak 70 and 40 something that they won in '09, and then of course '07 they started out very poorly, and then that run at the very end changed the whole dynamics of the season. They went to the World Series.
That's a pretty big swing. I mean, 9 under and 9 over at least in the same season. And it's happened 4 times and twice before in a World Series year and a playoff year. Outside ball 1 on Helt. Win a VIP baseball experience presented by Captain Morgan. Go to www.rockies.com/captain. Breaking ball misses 2-0. Zimmerman finding, like so many pitchers who haven't pitched to altitude, George, finding the ball a little slicker and trying to get a feel for the breaking ball. That's he has a plus curveball.
You got to really slow the arm down. You got to let it get on top and make sure your fingers stay on top of the baseball, and then you'll be all right with it. I mean, if you start to get outside of the baseball, it just turns into a frisbee and hangs in the middle of the plate. Preset the circle change is what he's doing right there.
Two and two. If Eric Young gets a decent jump, he'll take off here. Not going, and it's a fly ball to left field. Easy play for Lance Nix. Rockies leave 1 aboard in the 3rd. It is 2-0 Washington. inning. We go back to the third inning for Edgemere Escalona. Got Michael Morse to pop out to Troy Tulowitzki. That was popular in this particular inning after Jason Worth grounded out. Lance Nix would come up, and he, too, would pop out to Troy Tulowitzki. Good inning for Escalona, brought to you by Excel Energy. Learn about energy efficiency and how to save energy and money in your home by visiting responsiblebynature.com. Ian Desmond will lead things off here in inning number 4, and he takes ball 1. Third inning of work now for Escalona. So 2-1 count on Desmond.
Well, we always look the stats up, and one that Doug gave me a while back, I kind of put it off to the side, hoping the Rockies might get back into this. But when the Nationals score first, they're 38-18. So they've been able to hold on to a lot of those leads when they jump out in front of other ball clubs.
They have pretty good pen. An all-star down there in Clippard, Tyler Clippard. Power arms. This is bounced up the middle. Nelson is not going to be able to get Desmond. Infield hit for Desmond. He's 2 for 2. Reminder, Toyota Talk in a couple innings. You know what to do. Text Toyota, followed by a space, and in your comments, questions to 720-720. If you've never participated, tonight would be a good night. Ramos at the plate was the 5th rated prospect in the Nationals chain coming into the season. A rookie, 23. Because of a number of poor years, they've had a lot of high selections. And they also, George, look to benefit from having the #1 pick in back-to-back years where one of the most storied amateur players in recent memory was available. First, Steven Strasburg out of San Diego State, who everybody said is the finest amateur pitcher people had seen perhaps in a generation. And then the next year, the young phenom who we first heard about when he was 15, Bryce Harper, comes along.
Well, they've had 2 very good top picks. There's no question about it. Harper came out as a catcher, went to right field. They've had him on. This is where he's going to play. He's going to play the outfield. He's not going to go back behind the plate again. Another young catcher that has struggled at AA and AAA has been Derek Norris, a kid out of Kansas that hit a lot of home runs. He had some back issues. He struggled this year, but that's another very, very big arm that they have. And a big bat behind the plate.
One and one on Ramos. There's one on the move. Fancy footwork by Tulowitzki. Literally hurdled Ian Desmond as he delivered the baseball to Todd Helton. That was well done all the way around. 1-6-3.
Yeah, right back at him. He's able to field this. A little bit of a sinker, but Tulowitzki on the move, able to pick for a big man. Very agile, very good athlete. No question about Tulowitzki's ability and athleticism. Shows it right here.
Jordan Zimmerman pops this to shallow right, and Smith can't make the catch. Zimmerman digging for second is in there with a double. Coors Field fly ball double, hitting no man's land.
Tell you what, Zimmerman ran pretty good. And you can see as they go after the ball, Nelson peels off because it looks as if Smith will be the guy. Did he just whiff? Did the glove come back? Was it too short? Did he extend out to it? Now Zimmerman, they popped to the feet in a hurry and threw a one-hop throw in, but he's able to stay right on top of the bag.
He said he looked like a good athlete, George. He was a record-setting wide receiver in high school. That was his first extra
What record
base
did he
hit.
set? Catches?
Well, he caught passes for over 300 yards receiving in one ball game. That's pretty good.
That's really good.
Yeah, that doesn't happen much. And Keel with a 1-1 count. Rick's 2 for 2 in the game. Escalona is going to give up a base hit here, and they're going to send Zimmerman, and he's going to score easily. So Rick Ankiel with an RBI hit, his 24th ribby, 3-0 Nationals.
Ankiel's 3 for 3 in this game. A couple of singles and a double. Hit the ball hard every time up so far. And another look, sink fastball going away from him. Ankiel took that other fastball from Nicasio, hit it out into left center field, kind of the same location. This ball he hits back up the middle, but Zimmerman, as well as he runs, got a big jump.
He did a good job turning the bag too at third. Made a nice turn there. Cut the bag properly. Didn't look so far into him. Danny Espinosa at the plate. An infield single and a walk. One and two on Espinosa. Davey Johnson called Espinosa the strongest guy on the Nationals roster pound for pound. Switch hitter hitting just 206 on the left side. Hitting 275 righty. Windshield damage, call Safelite Auto Glass, 303-287-5000, online at safelite.com.
There's 4 guys at the top of the list, second baseman, most home runs. So the other guys, these guys are veterans. Uglow's got 23. Weeks with 19. Espinosa was 17 and Kelly Johnson was 17.
And this is popped up shallow right field. Nelson backpedaling and Smith coming on will make the play. In the inning with 2 outs, a double by the pitcher Zimmerman and a base hit by Rick Ankiel to make it 3-0. just one hit. 3-0 Nationals. AT&T trivia question. Can you name the last team to relocate in each of the 4 major sports? Well, Atlanta's going back to Winnipeg, George, in hockey.
Well, they moved once already. It's the second time that's happened because they moved in the 80s, too.
Well, you should know this one. Seattle recently went to Oak City.
Well, I know that. I just didn't want to brag to you while you're doing this.
I know. Well, they have a really good player by the name of Kevin Durant. You should check him out sometime.
No more than just him.
You know, Montreal went to Washington in 05 and Houston in 97. Houston Oilers. Can you sing that song, George?
They went big on it at all.
They went to Memphis.
Yep.
They did good. They go to Memphis, and then they're in Nashville now. They go to Memphis the first time?
Houston Texans. Or they're still playing.
No, but we're talking about the Oilers. Why did it say Memphis on there? They went to Nashville. They're the Tennessee Titans. They play in Nashville, right? They didn't go to Memphis.
Memphis is in Tennessee, too.
No, I know, but they play in Nashville. Now, did they play a year in Memphis? That's what we're trying to figure out.
That would be up to you and Doug to look up.
1-1 on Troy, and Tulowitzki bounces one to second. I think that got part of Jordan Zimmerman's glove, so it's 1-4-3 technically. 1 out. Seth Smith will come up. Another footnote on all the teams moving and relocating, if you will. When the Senators, the original Senators, their second time the Senators were there, when they moved in '72 to Texas and became the Rangers, they retained the right to the name Washington Senators. That's why when they came from Montreal, they had the same name.
By the way, tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, not open to the public, unfortunately. Fantasy Camp has a game in the morning at 9 a.m. here at Coors Field.
That's going to be a blast.
I'm going to come over to have breakfast and coffees, and I'm going to cheer you on, and I'm leaving. I don't want to watch any of you get hurt again.
Again.
Line drive, right field. He got it.
Jordan Zimmerman throws to Morse at first. 2 outs. Jordan Zimmerman so far has kind of methodically gone about his business. He's not giving up a run. He's given up just 1 hit. Now is Eric Young, the first batter he faced. Geico quote of the day. Charlie Manuel. Harmon Killebrew told me never to chew gum at the plate. He said it makes your eyeballs bounce up and down. Charlie said it with that drawl of his. Chris Nelson. No gum in his mouth. 1-1. We have confirmation. It was the first year that the Tennessee Titans were in existence. They played at the Liberty Bowl in Memphis.
I told you, you wouldn't listen to me.
No, I wouldn't.
I'm such a big NFL guy. I'm college all the way. Hoops, football, the whole deal.
Except you don't root for your alma mater.
No. I root for Oklahoma State.
You didn't go
Tulsa. There. I like their coaches.
One and 2 on Nelson. What's going to happen this fall?
What?
It's always going to be a great college football season on the Front Range. Air Force goes to Notre Dame this year. That's strike 3. Tom Hallion will always let you know. So Chris Nelson not happy, but he's dismissed. So 1, 2, 3, 4th inning for Jordan Zimmerman.
up to the plate here in the 5th inning. Escalante still out on the hill. Well, this week on Rockies Weekly with Jim Tracy, we'll introduce you to Alfonso, the new catcher backing up Chris Iannetta, the first Rockies player to hit a grand slam this season. Jason Hamill's life has gone to the dogs. We'll show you how Jason Hamill and his beautiful bride spend their free time helping others. It's Rockies Weekly with Jim Tracy, Sunday right after the ball game.
Nice job, George, with that Rockies Weekly promo.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll give you a couple more later, okay?
Okay, that's fine.
Ryan Zimmerman takes another pitch out of the zone. 2-0. 4th inning of work now for Escalante. Still awaiting an update on the condition of Juan Nicasio. After being hit in the head on a line drive by Ian Desmond in the 2nd inning. Eric Young makes the catch. Let's check in with Alana Rizzo again. She has tonight's Fast Cash sideline report. Brought to you by Fast Cash Gold Centers, where you'll always get 40% more for your gold. Alana?
All right, guys, thanks very much. Jason Worth is on deck here in this inning for the Washington Nationals, and he was a Los Angeles Dodger under Jim Tracy in 2004 and 2005. And I was talking to Trace earlier about the growth and the maturity of Jason Worth as a player today. He said, you know what, I credit a lot of his success to Tim Wallach, who was the hitting coach for the Dodgers at the time. He said, at the time, we really couldn't overexpose him to right-handed pitchers. He said he really had to focus on lefties. He had a tremendous amount of success facing lefties, and then as he got more comfortable, we extended the rope and let him, really work on right-handed, when he was facing right-handed batters. He said when he went to Philadelphia, he blossomed because it was a better fit for him. He had a lot more protection, was able to fit into a role, didn't have to be the main guy in Philly. You certainly don't have to be when you have that type of lineup that Worth was used to. And guys, you may know this, but he was drafted as a catcher and has really turned into a nice position player, nice hitter. But you know what? Obviously, this season having a rough time, but all around he's had a nice career, guys.
He's had a very nice career, and he's being handsomely paid. He'd be a long, tall catcher.
Where are you?
I'm way up here in the Wells Fargo Club, guys.
Where's that?
I'm in section 247. It's over here in left field. It's very nice. It's very roomy over here. There's not anyone over here at the time, but I don't want to block anybody's way when I'm over here doing hits, so I try to find empty rows. But a beautiful night, left field, people calling down from below me saying hello, so you should come out here when you're not busy in the suite eating everything at the ballpark. You should come and spend some time with me.
Okay. Okay, strawberry shortcake. Go ahead and take your break.
That was one day you guys
ate
had
3
back
of them.
to back.
You ate 3 of them.
I love how
Nobody
every
got it
time
anymore.
you tell the story, it's more and more and more and more.
I know.
Towering fly ball to deep center field and gone. Michael Morse with his 19th home run of the year to dead center field. Now it's just a towering fly ball that just kept going and going.
I don't think you could have described it any better, because that's exactly what it was. When a center fielder stops, look, stop, look, stop, look, it means it's hanging in that air for an awful long time, and that's what Dexter did. He went back fast to try to get there, kind of looked up, glided. I mean, Morris hit this thing looking at it. He wasn't for sure if it was going to go or not, and it did. His 19th, and now has 63 RBIs.
Here's another viewpoint of that home run.
Dexter's kind of like, okay, I got it. Well, no, I don't have it.
Well, Michael Morse having the opportunity to play on a regular basis and taking advantage. Hitting well over 300, big power numbers, and one of the guys he credits a lot is that man right there, Rick Eckstein. You say, wait a second, Eckstein, that name rings a bell. Yeah, that's the older brother of David Eckstein. They played collegiately at the University of Florida. David went on to a fine big league career, and Rick has become a very, very well-respected hitting coach. Freeze Cam. It's brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Watch this double play. First, a nice stab by Escalona. And then the feet a little bit low, but Tulowitzki's so athletic. As he throws to first, he hurdles Ian Desmond. He's an agile big man. Coors Light Freeze Cam. 4-0, the Rockies trailing after the home run by Morse. Ian Stewart with an 0-2 count very quickly. Rockies' last base runner was Eric Young, a 1-out walk in the third. They've only had 3 base runners. This guy we're watching tonight, George, figures to slide into the 2012 rotation right behind Steven Strasburg.
That won't surprise me a bit. After watching what he's accomplished here, 4+ innings, 2-2 count on Ian Stewart right now.
He's very aggressive with that heater.
Well, the thing about it, it's the attitude he takes to the mound. You know, it's his aggressiveness on the mound, pounding the strike zone. That's why I try, you know, it's great to have power arms in the back of the bullpen. That's where you typically want them. It's hard to find them in a rotation. Look for guys that can pitch. Look at guys that can move a fastball both sides of the plate.
And
left, right,
Stewart's
up and down.
got 6 strikeouts.
Hey, follow the Rockies with MLB.com at Bat 11 app, featuring highlights and a whole lot more. Text @BAT to 31826.
Slider, strike on Iannetta. He struck out back in the second. 1 out, nobody on for the Rockies in the 5th inning. Again, they have 1 hit. Eric Young had a double down the left field line, leading off the bottom of the 1st inning. One and 2 count on Chris. And the slider is hit to right center field. This one's going to fall. And Iannetta's going to have a long single. Escalona off camera, look back at Jim Tracy, see if he was still going to hit. Tracy pointed to the batter's box, so Escalona will come up.
This is, you know, when you don't hit much and you only been up once or twice, this is where you walk up to them and you go, hey, let me help you out. You're bunting. You can do it. And you tell them, hey, you can do it. Just get it down. Make a good bunt right here.
Look like a guy who hasn't bunted much. Time for today's CenturyLink high-speed pitch. Zimmerman at 96 and Escalona at 95.
All the minor leaguers in spring training go down to the 12 cages. You all bunt a lot. Most of the time, though, relievers, very little that they go down and bunt, because the only time they're going to play in the lineup at Colorado Springs or in the big, obviously big leagues, National League teams. But in the minor leagues, you only hit when you're playing a National League team in AA and AAA.
So Escalona's gone, a strikeout. That's number 7 for Jordan Zimmerman. The rule is, Edgemer, when you bunt it foul. Well, that's how little he's been in that situation. George Frazier is cracking up.
Well, you just don't see that very often.
No, you don't.
Look at Wiggy. Come on, Wig. I know you. Come on, Wiggy. Ellie, go down there and help him out.
2 outs. George, you know what? You got to put your arm around him tomorrow. Your fellow, you relievers got to stick together.
Absolutely. Absolutely you do.
And Junior, a sharp ground ball right at Michael Morse. That's all for the Rockies in the 5th inning. Jordan Zimmermann has dominated, and the Nationals have a 4-zip lead. Look at tonight's Cooney Lexus. Look back. Already 2-0 in the 2nd inning. Ian Desmond. It's a scary, scary deal. A line drive off of Juan Nicasio. It hit him in the head, and he was down for a while. Removed on a stretcher, and we are still awaiting a report from a local hospital. And then after that, a base hit with 2 outs. Rick Ankiel brings in the pitcher Jordan Zimmermann, who had hit a pop double against Edgemer Escalona. And then last inning, Michael Morse into his trot early. He went over the center field fence. 19th home run for Morse. 4-0. Once again, brought to you by Cooney Lexus, where luxury has an address, South Broadway in Littleton. Desmond 2 singles tonight. Two-strike count, 6th inning. It's our Toyota talk inning. National League leaders double plays. Lyle Overbay, these are first basemen. Todd Helton 4th with 82, but those other guys probably started more games than Todd has. Prayers go out to Juan. Get back soon. Nana Soft from Grand Junction. We second those sentiments as well. All the well-wishers tonight for Juan Nicasio. One and 2 on Desmond. This ball is well hit to right center field. Fowler can't get this one. It hits the very top of the wall. And Dexter with the fast hands, George, because that came ricocheting right back at him very quickly, and he stabbed it. And if that goes by him, it's a triple at least. Seth Smith was sprinting over to back up.
Oh, you got to chase it out to the wall because you don't think it's going to get all the way there, and then it ricocheted off that thing. Dexter able to handle it and then retrieve it. You know, he's tracking, thinking about catching it until right at the very end, and able to handle that and get the ball back in again. Desmond, 3 hits tonight.
Well, he had a better freshman year than a sophomore year offensively, but he's come on this evening. Leadoff double. Wilson Ramos at the plate. Rockies getting action in their bullpen.
Left-hander Matt Reynolds is up throwing. You know, Blau just went 3 innings just a day before yesterday. I don't think he would be a candidate to come into this ball game, even though he'd tell you he would. The job that Escalonta's done in this game has just been phenomenal. Go out this distance and working into the 5th inning here.
On the ground toward the hole, Stewart chases Desmond back. Nice play by Ian. 1 out. That'll bring up Jordan Zimmerman. On Zimmerman. And a base hit for Zimmerman.
2nd hit of the night for him. But today, Glenn Allen, Hill, Tommy Ronald's out early with all these outfielders. I mentioned it 3 innings ago. But they work just on that. Soft line drives, get a good break, catch the ball cleanly first, then hit the cutoff man, particularly in the instance of EY because of the arm strength. It's just not there. Make sure you hit the cutoff man with it. Well, Jim Tracy, as soon as he found out that Matt Reynolds was ready to go in the bullpen, he's going out to get it. And Escalante, he's pitched well. I mean, it's a tough spot to come into that he did. But he gave you 4+ innings right now.
So Edmer Escalante is gone here in the 6th inning with 1 out. And runners at 1st and 3rd. Matt Reynolds will be next. Washington leading 4-0. Been out hit 11-2 in this affair. Matt Reynolds with 1 out will face Rick Ankiel. Been a busy year for the sophomore left-hander Matt Reynolds.
Well, kind of made his way here on this ball club, obviously. 37 2/3, 31 hits on the season, giving up in that 37 2/3. You get the strikeout when you need it. 5 home runs given up. Right now, you're looking for a double play ball. Get something on the ground, left on left.
Side ball 1. I mean, despite being out hit 11-2, the Rockies still have 12 outs to work with offensively. And they're in striking distance. Matt Reynolds try to keep it that way. Good pitch, 1-1. Desmond doubled. He's at 3rd base. Jordan Zimmerman, the pitcher, at 1st, inside.
Last night, Reynolds came on to face Ankiel. and struck him out in the 6th inning with 2 outs. Had traffic on the bases, 1st and 3rd. Back in the same situation again.
3-1. Nationals have lost 10 of their last 13 on the road. And this is a chance for 2. There's 1 on to first. Out at first base. Chris Nelson doing it himself.
Well, if he doesn't, I don't think if they turn it or not, True, because if he flips it to Tulowitzki, you got added time with the extension and exchange.
Game show for a special 1-hour episode of the Dan Patrick Show that airs every weekday morning at 7 a.m. Dan and his Danettes, they'll recap the week's top sports and celebrity stories. That's coming up after the Toyota postgame show. Matt Reynolds getting a hug from Edgemere Escalona, getting out of that jam. That was a nice play by Chris Nelson. And as a pitcher, George, the ball goes by, and most of the time, you know, your instincts sort of try to field it. Matt Reynolds tried to field it, and fortunately he didn't. It happened so quickly, it went under his glove. Otherwise, I don't think the double play's turned.
It's not turned at all. I mean, that's the whole thing. You know, I think Nelson, again, I said earlier going to break, if, and it's a big if he tries to flip that ball to Tulowitzki, it doesn't get turned. I mean, there's a couple of factors in there on that.
1 strike on Dexter Fowler against Jordan Zimmerman. Ball game in the 7th inning in Texas, 7-5 Cleveland. Baldo Jimenez out of the ball game. He went 5+. This is fouled off and maybe playable. It is playable for Ian Desmond. So Fowler's retired. Jimenez went 5+. He gave up 5 runs on 7 hits, walked 3, struck out 7, allowed a home run. Todd Helton will come up. Todd reached on a fielder's choice in the 1st and hit a fly ball to left field. And Todd lines this to left, and that's a fair ball. And Helton's going to have career double number 549.
Breaking ball. See how he got out on that front foot? Hand stayed inside. He got out front a little bit, but his hands reacted so well to that ball down and in. That ball was breaking in on him. He sliced it right down that left field line up into the corner. You know what? It's the bottom of the 6th inning with the way this game started on such a downer with Nicasio leaving. You still got as a team a chance to come back and win this thing.
That's what we're talking about. That's why that double play turn to keep Washington from expanding their lead was huge, because as bad as it's been offensively, you're still in the game. There's the doubles list. Todd a couple ahead of Manny Ramirez, trying to chase down Jeff Kent and Eddie Murray. Hall of Famer Eddie Murray. Tulowitzki 3 hits last night, 0 for 1. And a walk tonight. It's fouled off. We've got a pitch out over the plate. I want to show you something interesting. May surprise you. You know, Dexter Fowler gets, it seems like a triple every 3rd day. On the career list for the Rockies, Dexter is 4. Nafy Perez, number 1, 49. Number 2 is Larry Walker, 44. Look at Helton. Helton's number 3 in triples.
He got all of those 98, 99.
When he had young legs.
I think he got a triple last year. Doug, when was the last triple he got?
Was there a train wreck in the outfield?
No.
I'm checking right now.
He's got a few afterburners, you know. When
You're right.
I told
George, you're right. He had a triple
one
last year. He had 3 in 09. He has 3 seasons in which he had 5. The last being in 06. Since we went down that triples lane, there's only been 1 season in Helton's career that he didn't throw out a triple, and that was the season that he only played 83 games in 2008 because of the back situation. That's the only year he didn't throw out a triple, and this year so far he doesn't have a triple. This ball line to right base hit. Helton will get stopped at 3rd. Tulowitzki smoked that ball to right. And now the Rockies have something going. 2 on and 1 out for Seth Smith.
I think of all the balls that Troy Tulowitzki fouled off, and now he decided to go to that outer half of the plate, but it was elevated, not anywhere near it. See a big stretch going on with their catcher. Missed by that. They wanted to crowd him in with a fastball, missed with it. Ball's hit hard to right field. Smart move, down 4-0. Stop him. Put an anchor on the boat and park it at 3rd. Henry Rodriguez, the right-handers up there warming up. There were them out in the bullpen, and Steve McCatty's going to make a trip to buy a little time here.
Henry Rodriguez, an extremely hard-throwing right-hander.
Hey, the first 10,000 of the game, August 16th. When is that? That's coming up pretty good. That's next homestand, right? August 16th will receive a Hebrew National Dollar hot dog coupon. That's right. Come to the yard. You wanted the first 10,000, you get a dog for $1.
Actually, you have to be one of the first 9,999 because Frazier's always first online. Takes that first coupon.
You missed up there too.
What?
9,990. I'm getting 10.
You get 10? Only 1 per customer. That's your favorite night of the year.
Oh, anytime you come to the yard and have a hot dog and watch the game, and that's my favorite night of the year. Tee it up, mow that grass, and fix the dirt, and just play some hardball. Saw Todd today before the game. I said, "How you doing?" He said, "Getting ready to play some hardball." Exactly what he does on a nightly basis.
Well, he got this rally started. Hopefully it's a rally. A 1-out double. Tulowitzki is single. Here's Seth Smith. Fly ball left field, the comebacker. Just 4 hits against Jordan Zimmerman. Good swing. Zimmerman, in 2 previous starts against the Rockies, has a 1.74 ERA, including 7 innings of shutout baseball against Colorado a few weeks back in D.C. Outfield straight up for Seth Smith. Win a VIP baseball experience presented by Captain Morgan. Go to Rockies.com/captain. Here's the 0-2. And he hit him.
Hit him or foul ball, or did he go around? Yeah, he swung at it.
Well, they're calling him back. This is the second time in the ball game we've seen this call. Once against the Nationals. Here comes Jim Tracy. Davey Johnson argued earlier when Ryan Zimmerman was hit by a pitch, and they said he swung. And Seth Smith saying, "You got to be kidding me," He's pleading his case to Tom Hallion.
I thought he went around on it a little bit more than the other guy. But Tom Hallion, you know, they're saying, "Tom, why would you even ask?" Here comes the pitch. Yeah, you know, it's a very accidental swing, but it is a swing. See, it's one of those cutters. They wanted away, missed, swings, hits him right in the top of the knee. What Tom Hallion did, Tom Hallion didn't make the call. Tom Hallion asked the third base umpire.
That means there's 2 outs. And it'll be left to Chris Nelson. 8 strikeouts for Jordan Zimmerman tonight. And honestly, I think that's the right call. That'll be all for Zimmerman. Here comes Davey Johnson. Pitch count at 96. So Jordan Zimmerman will depart, leading 4-0. Sports is brought to you by your neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota, moving forward. By AT&T, the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. By the Courtyard by Marriott on the 16th Street Mall. Ask about our hometown sports package. And by King Soopers, more value for the way you live. Here's the situation inside Coors Field. The Rockies trailing 4-0. They have Heltley doubled at third. They have Tulowitzki who singled at first. There are 2 men out. And Chris Nelson's going to face Henry Rodriguez, whose fastball will touch 100.
Well, turn it up a notch, because Chris Nelson is one of those guys that can turn it around with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, hitting nearly 300 in that position of the ball game. 34th appearance for Mr. Rodriguez. A hard towards Drew mentioned 40 in the 3rd innings, but he does walk a few people. 29 walks, 42 punch outs. He's inherited 13 would-be, he's inherited 13 base runners and only 10 have scored.
That's a lot.
No, 10 haven't scored.
Oh, 10 haven't scored. I thought it was 10 of them.
Long. Getting confused. You're supposed to punch me when I get like this.
You said only 10 have scored. That's not very good.
That's pretty good. Only 3 didn't.
This ball, bullet to center field. Rockies are on the board. Chris Nelson drove a 99-mile-an-hour fastball to dead center field with 2 outs. It's 4-1.
That's why it's no matter how hard you throw it, you better have some pretty good location to it. If you're a hitter and you know they throw hard, it's easier to tune up to it and turn it around. That's just what Nelly did. You got to show you have something beside velocity. Low fastball, down and in. God, I love seeing this kid have success. I'm telling you. There's a line drive right back up the middle. Chris Nelson with a base hit.
Oh, that's a huge hit. Gives the Rockies some life here. Stewart will come up. And that's in there for a strike. 3 hits in the inning for the Rockies. They only had 2 entering the frame. 4-1 the score. And slowly hit out in front of the plate and rolls foul up the first base line. It's 0-2. Your windshield's damaged, we tell you every night, call Safelite Auto Glass, 303-287-5000, online at safelite.com. Henry Rodriguez out there. Speaking of another Rodriguez, looks more and more, George, like Pudge Rodriguez with that oblique strain. He's not going to be back anytime soon.
No, that's a tough injury to try to come back from.
This is looped in the air to shallow left. This is in no man's land. And the ball drops. 1 run is scored. Nelson to third. 4-2. Desmond, Nix, and Ankiel all converged. And it's an RBI bloop single. Bring in Stewart.
And they all get up and walk away from it. This is a fly ball out into left field. Situation of the game, everybody's playing a little bit deeper. The run's on by Desmond. It looked as if he was going to catch it. And then as he got contact with the baseball, Nix took his legs out from underneath of him. And then here we go. Everybody's going to do a little header out on there. And then Nix did a nice job grabbing the baseball, turning and firing it into the infield to prevent another run.
Ionette at the plate. 1 for 2. Matt Lindstrom. See if Chris can run into a fastball.
Got the guy turning the double play to end the inning. Comes up and gets a line drive up the middle to drive in a run.
That's an enormous hit. I mean, you had nothing going, and if you don't score there, the momentum stays on the side of the Nationals. The Rockies have some now. And it's 2-0. Ty Wigginton has come out in the on-deck circle. Pitcher spot. Rodriguez behind 2-0. And that'll get started early, trying to catch up with that upper 90s heater. Boy, that's 99, George, and that had cut on it.
99,
see that thing?
99 and free and easy. Yeah, it wasn't your typical four-seam fastball. We're going to that outside corner, yet because of his follow-through and obviously some grip and finger pressure, sailed and cut about 6 to 8 inches.
Native of Venezuela, Henry Rodriguez. And it's 3-1.
And then you throw a 90 or 100-mile-an-hour sinker. You having fun down there, Rainbows?
Jason Hayward. Remember when the Rockies played Atlanta, Hayward was down for about 3 days. Could Rodriguez had hit him in the foot with a 100-mile-an-hour heater. There's a bullet to left center field. It's a 4-3 ball game. And Keel doesn't come up with it cleanly. Stewart had stopped at second. He'll move to third now. Chris Iannetta coming through.
I don't know how many 8-hole hitters in the game have 40 RBIs right now, and how many of them might have 11 home runs, but Chris Iannetta comes up with another 2-out base hit to cut the deficit to just 1 run on a fastball that came in at the high 90 area, and he just ricochets this thing into the outfield. Now, Akiel made an error on the ball here. That allowed Stewart to move on to third base.
And Wigginton's going to pinch hit. Steve McCaddy making that slow walk out to visit with Rodriguez since he's come on. Single by Nelson, single by Stewart, and a single by Iannetta. The All-Star Tyler Clippard throwing now. This is a little earlier than he normally gets the phone call.
Yeah, he's normally just an 8th inning guy, but if he's got to get him out of this bottom of the 6th, pitch the 7th, and then go on from there.
Well, as you're aware, if the Rockies score 7 or more in a ball game, go to your participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 and get your Rockies Taco Special. Jordan Zimmerman had kept the Rockies at bay for 5+ innings. But Colorado has put 3 on the board here, all with 2 outs. Ty Wigginton with a hit could tie this thing up. He's pinch hitting here in the 6th.
By the way, Iannetta's 36 RBIs hitting in the 8-hole ties Avila for the most in the major leagues right now.
Alex Avila with Detroit. Wigginton is 1 for 6 pinch hitting this year. Five hits in the inning for the Rockies. Suddenly it's 4-3. All geared up to hit that 100-mile-an-hour heater, and you get the slider.
Yeah, how about that? Talk about putting the brakes on.
Ready to go. So is he. 2-1 on Wigginton. Three balls and a strike. Another 100-mile-an-hour heater, but it wasn't in the zone. Three and one on Wigginton. He went slider again. It's 3-2.
Let's look on the Ford strike zone. We'll get it right here to see if it was in the zone. Apparently it was, just on the inner half of it. We just hit home plate.
Ramos standing up and letting defense know that Iannetta is going to be moving, and Morse will play behind him. 3-2. Ball 4, and the bases are loaded for Eric Young, and that'll be all for Henry Rodriguez. He didn't retire anybody. So Davey Johnson will go and bring in the All-Star Tyler Clippard, looking for that elusive third out in the 6th inning, as the Rockies, when Young comes up, will have hit around. Colorado within a run. Rockies, who were being shut out 4-0 when this inning began about 20 minutes ago, are now within a run. They have the bases loaded, and Eric Young Jr. will be coming up. We root for the Rockies in Utah. A ton of Rockies fans over in Utah. Catch ball games throughout the state. Tyler Clippard, an all-star this year. The league hitting just $150 against him. That's always a pretty good indication he's tough to hit, huh?
Well, yeah, and leading the league in holes, too, with 27. That's the best in all of baseball. So 74 punch-outs, 60+ innings for him, too. He'll come on to face E-Wide. I like Clippard. Short, quick, fast arm action. Got a good fastball. He'll work to 93, 94. Sink and tail. Got a very good curveball he'll work along with a slider. There's a reason he was an all-star.
The first 2 runs of the inning are charged to Jordan Zimmerman, so the book's closed on Zimmerman. 5 2/3. 2 runs on 4 hits, 2 walks, 8 punch-outs. Eric Young Jr. a double, a walk, and a ground ball to first. Stewart, Iannetta, and Wigginton all aboard. And ball 1. Two 2-0 on Junior.
Nobody's gotten a hit off Clippard this year with the bases loaded. They're 0 for 6.
Well, time to change that stat a little bit, huh?
It is.
Here's the 2-0. And that's not close. 3-0. Washington melting down here in the 6th inning. We'll get up and crowd that plate. That's in. Ooh. Called a strike, very close to being ball 4. That's how close. Three and 1. That I think that's borderline also, George.
A little high and a little outside.
Well, I don't know about outside, but it was high.
It was running that way.
3-2.
You just don't get caught standing there.
Strike 3 on a changeup. Not sure any of those were a strike. 4-3. Bottom of the 6th inning. Washington leading 4-3, top of 7. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies.
Well, the right-hander Matt Lindstrom into the ball game, making his 50th appearance on this season, doing 1.295 earned run average. Left-handers have hit 262, right-handers 274. Your club just got you right back in the middle of it. Have a 1-2-3 here. You'll deal with the top half of their lineup: Espinosa, Zimmerman, and Morse.
Matt Lindstrom yesterday had a 6-pitch outing, getting 3 outs. Want to know on Espinosa. And help when they run to the bag in front of Espinosa. 1 out. That'll bring up Ryan Zimmerman, who extended his hitting streak to 14 games with a 2-run triple in the 1st inning. He's 1 for 3.
Exclusive gift. Do you know that, Drew? It's an exclusive gift for purchase collectibles, amazing ticket specials, great back-to-school items. Make your local... Go ahead, Drew, you read it.
Wow.
The Dugout Stores. Go by the Dugout Stores. Pick up everything for the Rockies on your way back to school. The backpacks, hoodies, all those things. They're there at the Dugout Stores. How's that? Does that make it simpler?
There was a noun missing in there, George.
I thought so. Being a guy that went to Ithaca, you could help out the guy from OU, huh? You want to rewrite it?
No.
You want to retype it?
No, but we go to the Dugout Stores all the time, and so we're
absolutely you do.
Yeah, I mean, with our boys. Fly ball center field.
And all tonight, the bullpen's done a very nice job. They really have.
Michael Morse, a home run his last time up. And the big man will stride to the plate here with 2 outs in the 7th inning. Here's the home run, George. And Michael Morse doesn't have the big leg kick really like Zimmerman, but the hands, and you described this earlier, George, the hands when he starts way away from his body like Ryan Zimmerman.
Yes, they do. They start way away from him. Good fastball hitter, though. A lot of power. Whole bunch of power. A lot of reminders in that stance, too. Picking up the leg, sitting it down, setting it up.
He was telling me earlier that...
So why didn't he get a chance? 29 years old. I mean, what happened?
You know what, George? You've seen it many times with a lot of good players. With circumstances, maybe there's an all-star caliber or player in front of you, somebody blocking your path to playing all the time. Morse finally gets his opportunity this year
because of an injury.
He held up 1-2. I asked him before the game about his pre-swing routine. He says it reminds him just to stay short to the baseball. He said, obviously for a big guy, your tendency is to want to go out and cast the bat and work around it and get long. So that just reminds him each time to keep your hands inside and be short to the baseball. 2-2. 3-2. Got his opportunity when Andy LaRoche went down early. No knock on LaRoche, George, but he's not a .316 hitter.
No, he's not. And again, this is two big, strong first basemen, left side, right side. One thing LaRoche does, drives in runs. Driven in 100, I think, 4 straight years. Last year, drove in over 100 with the Arizona Diamondbacks playing first base.
3-2.
Dodgers.
Ooh, look out.
I don't need more of that. Dodgers over Arizona tonight, 6-0. Billingsley started that game for the Dodgers. Heater, 95+ miles an hour. I'm just glad, thankful it went to the other side. San Diego 15-5 over Clint Hurdle's ball club.
Let's say Andy LaRoche.
Yeah,
or Adam. Adam was obviously who we were referring to. Another 2-hit night for Michael Morse as Jason Worth comes up. Worth's 0 for 3, 0 for 6 in the series. Give you an update on Carlos Gonzalez. George, he played the first game in that doubleheader yesterday, and then a little bit into the second game before being removed, and that was the plan. He went 2 for 5 yesterday, and so far tonight he's 1 for 2. Drive off a broken bat right to Ian Stewart. So Lindstrom works another good inning. And as we've arrived at stretch time at Coors Field, the Rockies trailing the Nationals 4-3. Denver, where you can make the world your workplace. Rockies gave up 2 in the first inning. Juan Nicasio got touched for those 2, and then in the second inning, Ian Desmond hit him with a line drive in the head. We still have not gotten a report from the hospital on Nicasio. The Rockies finally got things going last half inning, scoring 3 runs, all with 2 outs. Chris Nelson had a huge 2-out hit to get that thing headed in the right direction. And now the Rockies with some momentum on their side, hitting in the bottom of the 7th against all-star Tyler Clippard. It'll be Dexter Fowler, Todd Helton, Troy Tulowitzki. Clippard, George, fortunate to get out of that bases loaded situation that he inherited last inning. Fell behind Eric Young 3-0 and then got 3 borderline pitches called for a strike in succession. Tampa beat Oakland tonight. Here's the 1-1. Changeup misses. The Cubs all of a sudden, George, are playing really well.
They are playing very, very good baseball all of a sudden. They're playing the way they'd hoped they would play on April. They have not done that.
They've won 6 in a row now. There's a base hit for Dexter Fowler. Tying run aboard as Dex ropes one to right. Philadelphia with a 4-1 lead on the Giants in the bottom of the 4th inning. Now it's Vance, Worley, and Jonathan Sanchez. How good has Worley been?
8-2.
That's pretty good, isn't it?
That's really good. Betancourt, the right-hander for the Rockies, warming up. That's the combination that Jim Tracy's used all year. It's Helton's double. Happened back in the 6th inning, right down the left field line off of Zimmerman down into the corner. That started everything for the Rockies, and sure enough, they put 3 on the board, hoping to get back into it again.
22nd double for Todd this year. 549 in his career. And that's a double play. Two gone. Tulowitzki will come up.
Well, I got in on the hands of Todd Helton. That line drive right to Morris, and then Dexter no chance to get back. He sees the bat flying, and I think he saw 2 objects, froze him for a second. But you can see this fastball. You don't see that often. Right down on the label of Todd Helton's bat.
Tulowitzki, a sharp single to right in that 3-run 6th inning. And Troy pulls one through the hole. He's now 15 for his last 31 at the plate. 15 for 31. That average climbing closer to the 300 mark. One strike to count. tripped up behind third, and Zimmerman will backpedal and make the play. So the Rockies had a couple of hits in the inning. No runs, though. 4-3 as we move on to the 8th. And Rafael Betancourt will take over. A reminder, coming up in the Toyota postgame show, Toyota Talk will continue. So the Rockies will look to get back to the dugout quickly. You guys preparing some text for Toyota Talk a little bit later on.
And why shouldn't he? Jump in there and be a part of it on the post-game show.
I feel like we're really eavesdropping there, George.
We are kind of doing it. There is a privacy thing about the ballpark, you know, guys. Just say I'm just saying, you know.
Well, had a couple guys who made 50-plus appearances in the ball game tonight. Matt Reynolds, Matt Lindstrom, and now Rafael Betancourt making his 50th appearance, and he's in the best place he's been all year of late.
Oh, he sure has. I mean, punch out, strike out, command of the fastball to both sides of the plate. He's done that. Appearance number 50, as it was for Matt Reynolds, as it was for Belisle a couple of days ago. This bullpen has been busy. He'll face the left-handed hitting Lance Nix to start off the 8th inning.
Nix in the ball game, George, 0 for 3. Strikeout and a couple of pop outs. He's hitless in the series also. And he's going to remain hitless. One pitch and a little rollover ground ball. You got to like that. Now Betancourt will try to get out Ian Desmond. Desmond has 3 hits tonight. 2 singles and a double. Ian Desmond takes a strike. We just got a report on Juan Nicasio, and there's not a lot of information with it, but we'll pass along what we know. He is undergoing a battery of tests at a local hospital. He was struck on the right side of his head. And the Rockies at this point, don't know any results from tests or anything like that. The only other words to describe his condition is that he is resting comfortably while undergoing complete exam, obviously. 1 ball, 1 strike. Inside 2-1. Desmond was at the plate and hit that line drive off of Juan Nicasio, leading off the 2nd inning. And this is as scary as you will see on a baseball diamond. Good fastball, 2-2. I think it was in Washington, George, that, or was it Lannon who got hit on the side of the nose and just walked off the mound, and amazingly, he walked right off the mound immediately. Obviously, his nose is bleeding profusely. Walks right down the stairs into the clubhouse, and you think for sure at the very least nose is broken, and you're looking at a DL situation. The nose wasn't broken.
That's amazing.
Two and 2, and a ground ball that's going to squeeze through the right side, and Ian Desmond is 4 for 4. Now here's that situation in Washington. I'll show you that footage now. John Lannon on the hill. Ty Wigginton rips one back up the middle. Fortunately, he got the leather up, and it clipped him in the nose. Now he was down on his knees for about 4 seconds. I mean, this is frightening. Goes down for about 4 or 5 seconds. He gets up and just walks off the field right into the clubhouse as the training staff and Steve McCaddy come running out. And miraculously, he was basically okay.
Yeah, amazing.
By the way, John Lannon on Sunday. He'll make the start for Washington here.
Desmond ties a career high 4 hits in the game. He's done it 3 times, twice this year.
And a 1-run game. He's a threat to steal. That's bounce foul. Desmond 20 of 26 swiping bases. He's got a lot of tools. Ian Desmond, gap power guy. They like his glove a lot. He has great range. He's made a few too many errors. He's made 16 errors, but ability to run. One on Ramos, just missed. 1-1. Thirteen hits tonight for Washington, and moving up on the ball in the dirt is Desmond. Obviously, that was a swing by Ramos. Be a wild pitch on Betancourt.
Huh.
Every once in a while, I get a wild pitch on a swing.
Well, if you're one of the first 21 older, you can get one of the first 10,000. If you're 21 and older, you're going to get a cap, courtesy of Coors Light. That's all August the 6th, which would be tomorrow.
Sure, I should have phrased that differently. Every once in a while, you'll get a swing on a wild pitch. started sounding like you again, George.
Well, I've either rubbed off or you've listened to Yogi way too much.
1-2. Got it. With Betancourt strikes out Ramos. 2 outs.
High heat. This is what he's had a lot of success with after flashing sliders away or changeups to come back with an elevated fastball.
You want to talk about old school right now, George. This goes back to when you were playing. Tyler Clippard, 2 outs, runner in scoring position. He's already been out there for 4 outs.
Go get him in the 8th for 2.
He's going to hit here for Davy Johnson.
Well, he's one of those guys that I've noticed watching him through the league because I like his delivery. I like what he does, so I followed him around baseball. There's a lot of times he'll go an inning and 2/3. I don't know how many times he's gone 2+. But we're going to know shortly because Doug's looking it up. Got it yet, Doug? Drew, can I ask you a question?
Anything you want.
Okay. Is there a difference than more than 2 innings or 2+? I'm asking you. Don't look at Doug.
Well, I'm just saying Dougie's sounding like you now, too.
He has 1 time this year. Gone more than 2 innings. Yeah.
2 or 2+, George?
Well, I asked Doug. Because he's got me all messed up now.
That's an interesting rally cap for that young man because it's different, but he can't see the game. Here's the 0-1. 1-1. It's a great rally cap. I can't see anything, though. Maybe he's kind of peeking out.
I got my hat on crooked. I'm over here looking goofy. I can't get anybody to talk to me. Everybody else is watching the game. Come on, somebody talk to me. Somebody tell me to put my hat on right. Ten games this year, Clippard has gone at least 2 innings in and out. Not plus or more, just 2 innings.
Just 2, 6 outs. Okay.
Right.
Desmond takes off and it's fouled off. Rockies in the 8th inning will have Chris Nelson, Ian Stewart, and Chris Iannetta. 4-3 Washington. Rockies won 6-3 last night, their first win on this homestand. Desmond goes again, and this is a fly ball to right field. Seth Smith's there, and he makes the catch. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. The Rockies down a run. Time for the Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. Rockies rallied for 3 in the 6th inning. Series of 2-out hits, including this one by Chris Iannetta to left center field to bring home a run. So Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. Brian Bixler takes over for Lance Nix in left field. Tyler Clippard, as we explained, stays in the ball game. And it'll be Chris Nelson, who had a 2-out single in that 6th inning, drove in the Rockies' first run. Then Ian Stewart, he had a bloop single for an RBI, and Chris Iannetta. All the RBI guys, George, 1, 2, 3 here in the 8th.
Time to get busy again. Time to go at it. The Storm's going to come on in the 9th inning. Inning at third, a couple of hits, 1 strikeout, the biggest strikeout with the bases loaded on EY when he threw that changeup on a 3-2 count.
$35,034 in the ballpark tonight on a pretty Friday evening in Lodo. So Nelson against Tyler Clippard. Clippard's command in this outing has kind of been spotty. I mean, he hasn't walked anybody, George, but he's been up quite a bit.
Well, it hadn't been what you thought. You typically see a lot of ground ball outs from him, not this many fly balls, line drives, broken bat line drives. Missed again there at 92.
And it's 3-0. Stewart waiting on deck. And a 4-pitch walk to Nelson.
That'll frustrate you as a manager.
Inside on Stewart. So the tying run aboard here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Rockies trying to come from 4 down tonight to win. Goes Wilson Ramos to the mound.
I couldn't figure out why it took that long. 6 balls in a 1-run game here in the 8th inning.
Steve, didn't you tell him to throw strikes when we sent him back out there?
Yeah, really. And he's looking in there. When they turn and study the board and they can't make up their mind, that means that they're not a lot of, well, just we'll leave him in.
2-0 on Stewart. He's sitting on that fastball, and he swung right through it. Hey, Rockies fans, we want you to check out the Root Sports website. Check out our video page to hear the Root Sports announcers answer the questions you asked. You answered some questions recently, George?
Never been asked to. Guess they ought to ask me, and I'll answer some questions.
Find that more at RockyMountain.rootsports.com. We answered them for you. I knew what you would say. Uh-oh. Nelson just got picked off. You cannot let that happen. Wow. Yeah. That cannot happen there. That's going to be a long walk back to that dugout for Chris Nelson.
Well, a long walk. Jim Tracy, a couple things going on here. I mean, you're looking at Chris Nelson. You're also looking at Glenn Allen Hill, your first base coach. You're expanding your lead out even farther. See that first move going over. You haven't been around a Clippard enough to understand his move, and it's a good one. Well, obviously, you got Chris Nelson here. Nobody feels worse than Chris. See, once he made that step, dead man, right there.
2-2 on Ian Stewart. And there's Jim Tracy. That's the way he handles things. That's why guys love playing for him. He's going to put his arm around you and teach you the game. If it's a reprimand, it's a reprimand, but it's always with affection. And Stewart's gone. 2 outs.
Fastball elevated right on the hands. Just didn't handle. Didn't catch up with it if you Stewart for a strikeout. 2 outs now here in the 8th with Davey Johnson a little nervous trying to figure out what he was going to go do. Who do I get up next? And the pickoff and a strikeout changed a lot of things.
I mean, think about it. A moment ago, George, you have a runner on first and a 2-0 count, and there hasn't been one strike thrown in the inning by Clippard.
Exactly.
And you know, again, Chris feels horrible about it, but the Rockies took him off the hook, obviously, with the pickoff, and then Clippard gained the upper hand on Stewart pretty quickly. 0-1 now on Iannetta. And a base hit for Chris. Boy, he has swung the bat tonight, his 3rd knock.
Mark Ellis will now pinch hit. Slider that didn't slide a whole lot. Kind of hung and just kind of kept biting, but never had that big bite to it that you normally see from Clippard. And Chris Iannetta, great job of hitting. Watch this tonight. Watching him call a ball game through this, nursing that bullpen for 8 innings.
Just the 2nd pinch hitting appearance for Mark Ellis. Outside ball 1. He was taking batting practice out on the field today before the game. Uh-oh, here comes Davey Johnson. Jason Giambi was taking BP on the field as he continues to bend from that quad injury that got him to the DL.
Kind of in a joking manner, he said, I ran hard for 90 feet. I know I can jog 360. And this is an instant right now that if he was healthy, you'd see him swinging the bat.
Yes, you would. And Davey Johnson says, you know what, I've seen enough pitches from Clippard, his guy, and even though it's in the middle of an AB, he yanks him. Nationals 4, the Rockies 3, 2 outs, 1 on in the 8th. Rock Hills. That's right. He's a native of South Dakota. Look at that. We have a Mark Ellis Rockies jersey next to a Mark Ellis Oakland A's jersey. Mark Ellis.
Well, the relatives made it.
Yeah, well, yeah, Mark, when he steps back in, will have a 1-0 count. And he'll be facing the Nationals closer, Drew Storen.
Yeah, this right-hander, pretty special. 52 appearances now as he's been announced in the ball game here. 287 earned run average over that span. First batter faced efficiency has been at 82%. The opponent's only hit 205 against him.
27 saves.
He was taken at the same draft as Strasburg, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, Storen was also a very high draft pick in their organization, but I think he was there at the same time. I'm going to find that out right now. Yeah, first pick in the first round overall was Steven Strasburg. They had 2 picks that year in the first round. The 10th pick overall, Drew Storen. Pretty good draft, huh?
Did that get him?
No. Airmailed him.
Tell you what, if the jersey was wet, it'd be dry now. That breeze at 97 going right by.
Oh, boy.
That close. Three, no. Too quick. 2-1. Mark Ellis didn't do a lot of this in his almost decade career in Oakland, pinch hitting. He's 0 for 14 in his career. He's generally in the starting lineup.
What do you think Drew Storen does for a hobby?
Taxidermist.
He collects hats and bobbleheads.
Who's the clubby?
And he enjoys drawing.
Who's the visiting
Cincinnati
clubby that has all those bobbleheads?
Houston.
I mean, hundreds and hundreds of them.
Yeah, he's got every one of them.
Two. And this one's wasted. Inetta's at first with his 3rd single of the ball game. High, and it's 3-2. Inet'll be off with the pitch. Here's the 3-2 to Ellis, and it's a ground ball to short. And Desmond will throw out Mark Ellis. We'll move on to inning number 9. Rockies continue to trail by just a run. 4-run come from behind victory of the year. They trailed the Nationals 4-0. It's now 4-3. Top of the 9th inning. Let's check in with Tom Helmer. Tom?
Drew, we hope to have more specifics on Juan Nicasio's injuries. He was hit, of course, in the face in the 2nd inning, taken to a local hospital where we understand he's going through a battery of tests and resting comfortably. We'll also talk about who might need to step in to the starting rotation in his place. And as always, we'll get down to the clubhouse and hear from the manager, Jim Tracy. Drew?
All right, Tom, thank you. Houston Street will pitch the 9th inning.
The right-hander's got to come in against the Nationals and do a little bit better job, quite honestly. Last night he gave up a couple of runs in 1 inning of work. 9 games he's appeared against them in his career. He does have 7 saves, though, and a 4.00 earned run average.
George's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Colorado Rockies. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Colorado Rockies.
You do that well.
Thank you.
Every time I started this 20-something years ago, the play-by-play guy always has to read the copyright thing.
We're going to let you do it tomorrow.
I'm not doing it. You guys do it so well.
Rick Ankiel, Danny Espinosa, and Ryan Zimmerman to face Street.
Key, keep it a 4-3 ball game here because you're facing their closer. The guy that's going to come in, he's definitely going to pitch the 9th. There's no question about that part. So you need to come in here and throw up a 0, give your club a chance.
Swung on a miss by Ankiel, who has 3 hits tonight, 3 for 4. 13 hits in the ball game for Washington. They've left 8 on base. Rockies, who had 2 hits entering the 6th inning. Remember that? 2 hits entering the 6th inning against Jordan Zimmerman. They have 10 now in the game, but just 3 runs.
Chris Nelson with a big night. And then, of course, Chris Ionetta's 3 hits. That changes the tune a little bit. Ionetta didn't get his first hit till the 5th. He got one in the 6th. He got one in the 8th.
Ankiel swings through that offering. It's 2-2. Good pitch. 1 out. Let's give you a little update on one of the top minor leaguers for the Rockies. Josh Rutledge, shortstop out of the University of Alabama. He had his 27-game hitting streak snapped last night. It's the longest in minor league baseball this year, and it's the longest streak in Modesto history. Or is it? Okay. Well, who's?
Jeff Kendall was the first baseman in the Rockies organization.
Yeah, was that a tie? Those two tied, I guess.
Yeah, Kendall had a 27-game hit streak in 2007 in Modesto.
That confused me a little bit, but I'll tell you a little bit more about Josh Rutledge. Talked to Dan O'Dowd extensively about him today, and George, you've seen him play quite a bit. He runs very well. He's a plus runner in the scouting vernacular. He's a plus hitter. In other words,
he's a good line drive hitter.
Right.
I mean,
he's not going to hit for power.
Well, he hits 2 in the 2-hole for Jerry Weinstein and his ball club. He's one of those guys also that he's going to hit 8 or 10 home runs a year. He's going to drive in some runs, but he does a lot of the little things. He can hit behind runners. He's a very adequate shortstop. I think he'll probably end up as a second baseman, because get to the whiskey for the next 10 years. But I think he can handle that position very well. But he is a very, very good ball player. Last night, unfortunately, a couple of nights ago, they lost Kent Mathis, who was swinging a great bat. He's going to be here in Denver for surgery. He was hit by a pitch in his hand, so he'll be here Monday.
Yeah, he's having a great year. 3-1 on Espinosa. Fouled off 3-2. Let me clarify something. Kendall had a 26-game hitting streak, and so Rutledge broke his Modesto record, hitting in 27 straight.
By the way, Mathis was a teammate of Rutledge's. And
at Alabama.
At Alabama. And Mathis also finished second in the Golden Spike Award, which goes to the top college baseball player.
This ball's well hit, and it is over the head of Smith. Espinosa is going to have a 1-out double.
Let's look where the location of where Chris Iannetta is setting up. I mean, that's not that far off of the plate. It's down. It's a left-hander with some power that likes the ball down. He just hit a shot right over the head of Seth Smith in right field. One hop that right field wall right in front of the bullpen. So now Houston Street will try to get one of the hottest hitters in baseball, Zimmerman, out.
No, well, he's going
to face him. Yeah, put him over there, and then they'll have a shot at Morse, who hits a long towering home run hitting over 300, then Worth. Hopefully it's a one-pitch double play after this.
Yeah, it's pick your poison right now. The Rockies obviously trying to set up two, as George described. But Zimmerman, who has a 14-game hitting streak, Morse behind him, is 2 for 4 tonight, hitting .316 on the season. And as good as Morse was in the first half, he's actually been even better in the second half, hitting close to .360 since the All-Star break. So Bob Apodaca will go out and talk about how to attack Michael Morse. 4-3 Washington. 1 out in the 9th inning. And Keel led off with a strikeout. Kyle Parker tonight, George, drove in his 81st run for Asheville.
He's done a nice job down there too. I mean, this is a kid that got on a little roller coaster, hit well into the high 300s, and then roared down into the mid 260s and leveled off right now. He's averaged at about 275, 280. But for a first full year, that's a huge adjustment. To go down and play a 144 game schedule plus your spring training games, and it's a big adjustment for him, and he's made a nice job doing it.
Until this year, fouled off. He was a full-time football player and a part-time, a real part-time baseball player.
Sure was. Till last year at Clemson, then he went out and played, did a great job. Rockies took him as a first pick. Only time will tell what you got.
The Rockies thought they had a middle-of-the-order bat, and so far he's swung it like a middle-of-the-order bat ought to. Home runs and RBIs galore in his first full season in the Sally League. This is a base hit to right, and Espinosa gets a green light. Here's the throw by Smith. It is not going to be in time, and it's 5-3 as Zimmerman goes first to third. Michael Morse with his third hit, his second RBI of the game, and the recent troubles for Houston Street continue.
Well, you start to run into that rut a little bit, make mistakes with pitches up in the zone, and that's what happened here. A ball up in the zone, took advantage of the right side and that hole there, and then Smitty's throw came up short to the plate. That allowed the run to score, but in the meantime, everybody advances up. Zimmerman now at third base, and only 1 out, and Worth up.
5 runs, 15 hits for Washington. Inside on Worth. Worth is 0 for 4. Hitless in 7 ABs in the series. Houston gave up 2 runs yesterday and work in the 9th inning. Double play ball. There's 1. And there's 2.
Well, that's what you hoped to have gotten a minute ago whenever you had the intentional walk.
Rockies will try to rally against Drew Storen in the bottom of the 9th, trailing 5-3. brought to you by Southwest Airlines. New Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. Rockies trail 5-3, bottom of inning number 9. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, Alana Rizzo, Drew Storen got the final out of the 8th inning. And now he'll look to get the final 3 outs from Washington's perspective, and the Rockies hope to make that difficult. They'll have the top of the order: Eric Young, Dexter Fowler, Todd Helton, and hopefully many more. Storen out of Stanford.
Well, it's hard. It's a good slider. We'll throw it up to 97 we've seen so far in this ball game. And they go along with that. The fans here at the ballpark with the rally hats, trying to get fired up. They're dancing in the aisles, trying to get a run for the Rockies. And Storen has given up a run in 3 of his last 4 appearances, at least 1 run.
Storen, a native of Indiana. And the fastball is a little hot. Ball 1 on Junior. Double and a walk. 1 for 3 officially for EY. Taking a strike, and it's 1-1. One and two.
Try to overpower the pitch, slider at 84, and that's why it hung. Just going to throw it as hard as he could possibly throw it. Everything didn't stay together with it, and the result's not very good. Take advantage of it if you're Ewok. 2-2 count now.
Storen strikes out. Junior 1 out. Here comes Dexter Fowler, 1 for 4, single in the 7th inning. Base hit for Fowler. This is a tweener, and Dexter will glide into second with a 1-out double. And I know what you're thinking at home. But the Rockies gotten that stop in the top of the 9th inning. You got the tying run out there.
Well, and even in the 8th inning, with Chris Nelson, a leadoff walk, and to get picked off first. I mean, there's a lot of things you can point to, but that 1 run in the 8th is as big as any run given up in the game so far. Yeah, Dexter got a fastball out over the plate. Stay hot, Dexter. Right now, Storen, all he's thinking about Helton to the whiskey. He doesn't need anything else added on to the base paths right now.
Todd 1 for 4. Outfield naturally playing very deep. They continue to play no doubles. And it's a ground ball to short. 2 gone. And Tulowitzki, representing the tying run, will stride to the plate. Troy is hot as anybody in the National League right now. Hitting close to 500 this week. 2 more hits tonight, also a walk. That's 6 multi-hit games in his last 9. Doran throws a slider on the first offering. It's in there. 0-1. Tulowitzki, a home run in yesterday's ball game, his 21st. In the air to center field, and Rick Ankiel will glove it, and Washington hangs on. They win the baseball game 5-3 tonight. Just the second time, actually the third time now, they have beaten the, let me correct that, the second time they've beaten the Rockies this year. Rockies had won 3 of the first 4. The winning pitcher is Jordan Zimmerman. Zimmerman's now 7-9. Juan Nicasio ends up taking the loss, and more importantly, we hope Juan is doing well as he rests comfortably at a local hospital. Storen picks off his 28th save. Jimmy John's delivery of the game, brought to you by Jimmy John's, America's favorite sandwich delivery guys. Michael Morse in the 5th inning against Edmer Escalona hits a home run to center field. Time that extended Washington's lead to 4-0. The Rockies rallied for 3 in the 6th inning. Just couldn't get anything done after that. And they fall 5-3. 5 runs, 15 hits tonight for Washington. 3 runs, 11 hits for Colorado. We invite you to stick around. The Toyota postgame show is next on Root Sports.